We've come to our last stop in our Japan adventure in fabulous Kyoto. We're going to visit the Kiyomizudera temple, the red torii gates in Fushimi, bamboo groves in Higashiyama, and of course, visit the Gion District where the geishas live.
And that's not all. We're also going to show you some hidden gems that we've discovered during our trip.
We're super excited about this part of our trip because it's definitely a different vibe from the metropolitan Tokyo and Osaka. Can't wait! Let's go! Kyoto has been absolutely magical. The people are so amazing. The food, fabulous. It's rich in culture. We've had a lot of chance to look at some fabulous shrines and temples. And I think my highlight has to be spotting the geishas. Not just one, not just two, but actually I think 6. We spotted 6 geishas accidentally. We weren't like purposely looking for them in the Gion District. So this vlog is all about Kyoto, about its rich history and culture and its amazing sights.
Bright and early, we head on to Nijo Castle, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was built in 1603 as a Kyoto residence of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of the Edo period. Its palace buildings are arguably the best surviving examples of castle-palace architecture of Japan's feudal era, and the castle was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994. The entire castle grounds and the Honmaru are surrounded by stone walls and moats. The palace consists of multiple separate buildings that are connected with each other through corridors with so-called nightingale floors, as they squeak when stepped upon as a security measure against intruders. The palace rooms are tatami mat covered and feature beautifully decorated ceilings, walls, and sliding doors. Outside the palace extends the beautiful garden, a traditional Japanese landscape garden with a large pond, ornamental stones, and manicured pine trees. After all that walking, we definitely worked up an appetite, so we head on to Nishiki Market. Nishiki Market is a historic and lively market in Kyoto that offers a variety of local specialties from seafood to sweets. This bustling and certainly very crowded market has a history of over 400 years and is home to approximately 130 stalls. So our lunch consisted of shrimp and squid tempura and a couple of crab leg meats. That was about $11. And then we had 2 sashimi rice bowls with eel and egg. That total was $22. And the verdict? Oh my goodness. Food was super fresh and definitely super good. Alright, so when you're in Nishiki Market, there is a hidden gem. It's called Nishiki Tenmangu. It's a Shinto shrine dedicated to the deity of scholarship that stands at the eastern end of the market. Despite its small size, the shrine sees a lot of foot traffic from the many people who come to sample the local cuisine and shopping in the market. Another hidden gem that we highly recommend is go to tea tasting. We stopped off for tea pairing at Fukujuen main store. Well, actually, the main store is on the first floor and the tea pairing is on the second floor. We each had 4 tasty treats paired with 4 tasty teas. And of course, we shared. Total price, $22. The menu included herbal tea, combining uji tea with fruits and flowers, and traditional tea with exquisite, cute little desserts. The highlight of our day was when we went to the Gion District and we were walking around Hanamikoji Street when, lo and behold, we saw a geisha. Like we were just standing there and she approached us. And it wasn't just 1 or 2. There were actually 4, 5, I think even 6. Total of 6 geishas that we saw. So we were pretty lucky that evening. We didn't go to any private alleys or roads. We were just really hanging around Hanamikoji Street, which is a charming, picturesque street lined with posh, high-class traditional Japanese restaurants. These luxurious restaurants are pricey, and many of them require an invitation and reservation. Here is a beautiful geisha approaching us, wearing a beautiful blue kimono. She walked really fast and tried not to get any attention. And here's another one in a beautiful turquoise kimono. For the geishas that we saw, you will notice that the tourists kept themselves at a distance and respected the geisha's space. And here comes another geisha, the fourth we saw that evening. Gerald and I were so captivated and felt so special after seeing them because of their rare place in history. During all these encounters, we followed all the rules of respect and privacy. Kyoto has signs that warn tourists not to touch geishas, lean on railings, smoke, eat while walking, and litter. Bright and early the next day, we wanted to beat the crowd, so we proceeded to go to a very busy site called Kiyomizudera. Kiyomizudera, also known as Pure Water Temple, is a Buddhist temple located in the eastern side of Kyoto. It was founded in 780 on the site of the Otowa waterfall, and it derives its name from the fall's pure waters. The temple is famous for its impressive viewing platform, three-story pagoda, and the medicinal pure waters of the Otowa spring. Kiyomizudera is best known for its wooden stage that juts out from its main hall, 13 meters above the hillside. The Ottawa waterfall is located at the base of Kiyomizudera's main hall. Its waters are divided into 3 separate streams, and visitors use cups attached to long poles to drink from them. Each stream's water is said to have a different benefit, namely to cause longevity, success at school, and a fortunate love life. Know that each one of those cups are sanitized after each use. The stage affords nice views of the numerous cherry and maple trees below that erupt in a sea of color in spring and fall, as well as a great view of the city of Kyoto in the distance. After exploring the Kiyomizudera, we then proceeded to explore Higashiyama District. Higashiyama District is one of the few areas of Kyoto that is not a mess of telephone poles, power lines, and hodgepodge architecture. In addition to the lack of all that, and the high concentration of wooden townhouses, you can also find stone streets, peaceful gardens, and a surplus of tucked-away little alleys that are exquisitely designed. We are huge fans of the design and traditional style found in this district, and even though the entire stretch is just under 2 miles, it's easy to spend half a day here. We came across this long line, then asked, what is everyone waiting for? Well, it's none other than Starbucks. This Starbucks is the first coffee shop established in an authentic, traditional Japanese house. Tourists flock here to enjoy a latte while comfortably sitting on cushions laid on the tatami mat flooring. This is an incredibly popular spot with locals and tourists, so you'd be best advised to go really early or after sunset if at all possible. The seating area fills up and the hallways are narrow and tight. Our next adventure of the day is ascending to the top of Mount Inari through thousands of torii gates. This adventure will probably take us about 2 to 3 hours, as we were told. The Fushimi Inari Shrine is an important Shinto shrine in southern Kyoto. It is famous for its thousands of vermilion torii gates, which straddle a network of trails behind its main buildings. The trails lead into the wooded forest of the sacred Mount Inari, which stands at 233 meters and belongs to the shrine grounds. The hike to the summit of the mountain and back takes about 2 to 3 hours. However, visitors are free to walk just as far as they wish before turning back. Along the way, there are multiple smaller shrines with stacks of miniature torii gates that were donated by visitors with smaller budgets. There are also a few restaurants along the way, which offer locally themed dishes. And if you prefer not to deal with daytime crowds, the Fushimi Inari Shrine in Kyoto is open 24 hours a day, and the gates are illuminated at night, creating a mystical atmosphere. There's quite a bit of crowd and congestion in the beginning of the hike, but don't fret because as you progress through your hike, the crowd thins out towards the top.
Over an hour later, we made it to the top of Mount Inari through the thousands of torii gates.
Alright, now revealing the last hidden gems in our Kyoto trip. We will be visiting a beautiful shrine. Yes, there are tons of shrines and temples in Kyoto, but this one without any crowd. And then there's a nearby dessert and tea house that's been in operation for 1,000 years. We added these two in our agenda after watching Somebody Feed Phil in Netflix. Phil visits the shrine and the historic shop, so we will do the same. It is said that Imamiya Shrine, located in the northwest of Kyoto, was built in 994 AD. It enshrines several kami, which are gods, including the deities of good health and long life, as well as matchmaking. You can freely roam around here and not get bombarded by hundreds, if not thousands, of tourists. Now onwards to the historic shops located just outside Imamiya Shrine. Ichiwa is over 1,000 years old, and therefore the oldest sweets shop in Kyoto. They specialize in aburi mochi, which is mochi cake on skewers coated in kinako, which is toasted soybean powder. As the name suggests, aburi mochi is a rice cake which has been grilled over hot charcoal and then coated in a sweet sauce made from miso paste. The shop is now run by the 25th generation of the same family. There is also a small garden behind the shop where you can enjoy your aburi mochi as well. The shop across the street is called Kazaria, which also serves aburi mochi. I actually couldn't see the big difference between the two, as the aburi mochi looked exactly the same. The only difference really is that Kazaria seems to be around since 1656, so only about 600 years old. Both shops are right across from each other and therefore work in direct competition. Regardless, you can't go wrong with either. 600 years old versus 1,000 years old? Hey, they're both old. Well, this about does it for our Kyoto hidden gems and must-see spots. Many of you may be wondering, what about the bamboo forest? Well, I created a video specifically on the Higashiyama District of Kyoto. It definitely needs its own special segment. We visit of course, the bamboo forest, the Tenryuji Temple, and Kinkakuji. So that and also staying at a popular ryokan. Click the link in the description below for Higashiyama. Thank you guys. See you next time.